Hello, everyone. Your girl Tay here, and I'm bringing you another Let's Talk Wild podcast episode. Today is November 29th, 2024, and this is episode 68, Saving the Jaguars in America. Today is International Jaguar Day, and for this episode, I'll discuss the long fight these wildcats have had with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Issues with being listed and removed from the Endangered Species List multiple times and having their critical habitat space decreased. But before we get into that, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. You can support the podcast by becoming a member or sending a donation to Venmo or PayPal. The links will be in the description box. Also, hit to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and check out the videos over there once you're done listening over here. You guys already know the drill. Now, let's talk wild. I know some of you guys thought I was going to talk about turkeys because yesterday was Thanksgiving, but no, the turkey gets enough love during November, and I love all felines, the domestic cats and the big cats, including the jaguars, and today is their day to celebrate them, so we're going to do just that. You can listen or watch while you eat some leftover turkey, okay? How about that? You could do that. Now, watching the kids show Legends of the Hidden Temple, am I showing my age? Yeah. But yes, watching that show as a kid, I always rooted for the red jaguars, of course. I always wanted them, to go in the temple, not get caught by the temple guards, okay, and come out winning so they could win them a family trip to the studio and all of that stuff. And yeah, I always wanted to be on that show. I know some of y'all wanted to be on that show too, honey. They had a adult version, but it wasn't as good as the version that we watched growing up as kids, right? I also always appreciated Jagger, the elder warrior who gave the Thundercats, ho! Always gave them wisdom and knowledge to help them during their quests and battles. I love that cartoon. Just all cats kicking butt. I love it so much. They were warriors, fighters. Come on, Thundercats, ho! And even though they aren't American made, I always loved the style of the Jaguar cars. I still want one, to be honest. Not one of the new models, an old school model with the Jaguar symbol on the front. I gotta have it because back in the day, the old heads would have the Jaguars and it was just so cool. They used to be pulling up nice and clean in a Jag, okay? We never said Jaguars. We always said the Jag, okay? That was the nickname. Cut it short, pulling up in the Jag, looking smooth, looking clean. But yes, I always loved the style of the cars. Now, I've been sitting on this topic since June, but I wanted to wait until International Jaguar Day to discuss the issues the species and the people that are trying to protect them are having in America. See, I feel like America has this love-hate relationship with these big cats, and I'll get into the reasons after some Jag facts. They can be found in 19 countries, including America, and are the largest feline in the Americas and the third largest in the world. They have adapted well. They can live in the rainforest, dry forests, savannas, grasslands, shrublands, and deserts. And in the States, they can be found in Arizona. Their history with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has been a wild ride, pun intended. The species was hunted and close to being extinct, but in 1972, they were listed as endangered. In 1980, they were removed from the Endangered Species List. And in 1997, they were put back on the Endangered Species List. See, we see a pattern here. Do you see? Do you see? Yes, we do see. Okay. Now, the Center for Biological Diversity, a national nonprofit conservation organization, sued the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and won critical habitat in 2014 and a recovery plan in 2019 for the species. In 2016, the service issued a biological opinion regarding the development of the Rosemont copper mine in the Santa Rita Mountains in the Sky Islands region outside of Tucson, Arizona, that would include portions of the critical habitat designated for the jaguars. The service stated that the proposed mine was not likely to jeopardize the continued existence of the jaguars or result in the destruction or adverse modifications of its critical habitat. I would think developing a mine would definitely modify their habitat if the mine's location includes portions of their habitat. But okay, let's get back into it. In 2017, the Center for Biological Diversity filed a lawsuit against the service to challenge the service's biological opinion and stop the mine construction. The center continues to fight to protect all endangered species threatened by the mine. Shout out to them for continuing the fight. These organizations and people really put in the work, the time, and all they have to help these animals. And shout out to y'all for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share, and like Let's Talk Wild on all podcasting platforms and on YouTube. If you would like to support even further, you can become a member and donate to the Let's Talk Wild PayPal or Venmo. The links will be in the description box. Now, let's crawl back into the show. Cue the animals. In 2021, research was published in the International Journal of Conservation that declared 20 million acres in Arizona and New Mexico were a suitable habitat for a breeding population of jaguars. That is a lot of land. 20 million acres. That is a lot, and that can definitely be shared with the jaguars and other wildlife for sure. In 2022, the center petitioned the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to reintroduce the species in New Mexico and designate more critical habitats in both New Mexico and Arizona. In 2023, the Arizona District Court ordered the service to vacate portions of land as critical habitat. In January of this year, 2024, the service rejected the petition to reintroduce the species. According to the center, a letter they received from the service stated recovery of the species could be achieved without the presence of jaguars in the Gila National Forest. Jaguar critical habitat will be evaluated separately from their reintroduction. Rejecting the proposed reintroduction does not preclude our taking such action in the future. End quote. So basically, the service wanted to check the critical habitat before reintroducing the species. And, even though they rejected the proposal, they may in the future change their minds. That's what I'm getting from it. The Center for Biological Diversity Southwest conservation advocate Lakendra Dye, I apologize if I'm saying their name wrong. It's all love. They responded to the rejection stating, "This is a heartbreaking example of the Fish and Wildlife Service's continued failure to take proactive steps to bring jaguars back to their native range. Federal officials should be aiding jaguar recovery, not making excuses that justify their continued inaction. Jaguars belong in the United States, and we won't stop fighting to protect and recover these magnificent cats. The service is abandoning its responsibility to recover jaguars in the Southwest, and we are not about to let that stand." End quote. I know that's right, Drada, period. Listen, I told y'all these conservationists, they put it all on the line for these animals, and I love it. That was a powerful statement. So shout out to Lakendra Dye, okay? Even if I'm saying their, name wrong a little bit, shout out to them. Appreciate you. Now, on May 30th of this year, 2024, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service made a final ruling for the revision of the critical habitat designation for the jaguars in compliance with the Arizona court order. This rule is an administrative action to remove approximately 64,797 acres of land within Arizona from the jaguars' critical habitat designation, leaving them with 640,124 acres. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, more than 99% of the jaguars' range is found in Central and South America, and the few male jaguars in the U.S. are believed to have dispersed from core populations in Mexico. Jaguar breeding in the U.S. has not been documented in more than 100 years. The primary threats to the jaguar across its range are habitat loss and fragmentation, killing for trophies and illegal trade in body parts, proactive or retaliatory killing associated with livestock depredation, and competition for wild meat with human hunters. The service will continue working with state and local partners, conservation groups, and the Mexican government to support jaguar recovery. There are no plans for jaguar reintroductions in the U.S., but this bi-national team remains focused on sustaining potential habitat, end quote. It's giving, in my opinion, we want to sustain the habitat, just not for jaguars. I mean, they just said it, like there are no plans for jaguar reintroductions in the U.S., but they're focusing on sustaining potential habitats. Keep the habitat going, just not for the jaguars, in my opinion. That's what it's given. Currently, the IUCN lists the jaguars' conservation status as near threatened, with populations decreasing. This was last assessed in August of 2016. Some of their main threats are residential and commercial developments, energy production and mining, human intrusions and disturbance, hunting and trapping, and pollution. Now, let me give my final wild thoughts. After reading and doing the research on this, I understand wanting to reintroduce the species because they've been here. It's not right for the species to lose the place they call home because of humans. It's always humans, always doing things to hinder the species and destroy the places they call home, even when we call it home too. But to deny them this home that they once called home is crazy to me. You don't want to reintroduce them because you're kind of happy that they're gone, right? In my opinion, allegedly. Like you're happy that they're gone, so you don't want to reintroduce them. They can't come back home. That's what it's given. It's homeward bound, but they ain't welcome. They trying to come back home. And y'all saying, no, this ain't your home no more. We gonna keep the habitat sustained, but this ain't your home no more. Y'all can't come back. And that hurts me for them. Because even if they wanted to come back, y'all saying they can't. Y'all don't want to reintroduce them. Y'all like, listen, the ones that may, come from Mexico, okay, whatever. But to reintroduce them, no. But I just feel like this animal web, all the animals play a part in the ecosystem. Y'all know this. We learn this in elementary school. We learn this as children, right? They help, keep certain populations of rodents down, of animals down. All these animals play a part with one another to keep the ecosystem going and keep populations in check. I also think that trophy hunters, they would be a major problem. People are set on hunting these beautiful animals just to have them mounted on their walls, used as floor decor, and trading their body parts is ridiculous. If these people find out is a good number of jaguars in this area and they don't have to buy a plane ticket to go to a foreign country to, trophy hunt, and they could just do it in the U.S., I feel like they would find a way to do it. So I think trophy hunters would be be an issue, and things would have to be put in place to protect these animals from them. I also think that conservation organizations and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service need to come to a compromise. Reintroduce the species, but track the numbers and tag the animals so they can be easily tracked and located. If the population numbers rise and there are major human-animal conflicts, they can always track, tranquilize, and neuter the males to help keep the numbers at a safe total for them and for us. What do you guys think? Let me know how you feel about today's topic, saving the jaguars in America. Make sure you guys comment, follow, share, and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out my videos, shorts, and playlists of all things animals. You could support even further by becoming a podcast subscription member or sending a donation to the Let's Talk Wild Venmo or PayPal. The links will be in the description box. Love yourself, one another, your pets, and the animals. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.